it's pretty clear that Greg and I are not the same.
Yeah. And?
You might remember a couple weeks ago, he was like, yeah, my car's breaking down. I'm going to buy a new car. And that's the last we heard of it.
Yeah.
He didn't even tell us what kind of car he bought.
Well, drove a whole lot of test cars, and a week ago took home a Honda CR-V. So, which happens to, I'm told, is the most popular SUV in Pennsylvania. But,
probably.
Yeah.
It's
and
everywhere.
so far, so good. I'm going to give it a good test run this weekend when I drive it to Wisconsin and back.
And then there's me.
Yeah, then there's you.
I hit a deer last night.
Well, I don't think
Or just the correct
or did the
statement.
deer hit
The
you?
deer hit me.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That deer was gunning for you.
It's just proof you're
It really
an
was.
accident magnet.
Just like, I seriously, they know, the deer know me. They're like, it doesn't even matter what car I'm in, apparently. They're just like,
No.
yep, that's him.
You sense
The truth
smell.
is, there was 3 deer on the side of the road drinking coffee, and Bob drove by, and one spit out its coffee, and it's like, I'm there. I'm gonna do this.
Let's go.
That's exactly what happened. Fortunately, in this case, I think I got off pretty easy. It actually, and like, this is the funny thing is, like, you know, I imagine that most people are like, oh my God, I hit a deer. I just kept driving. Like, the car's still moving. Okay.
It's like, I'm not again.
I'm like, I know a good place to pull off. It's a little ways up. I'll just go there. And that's what I did. And I got out.
Picked a few bits of fur off. And just...
There wasn't even any food. I kid you not. The first thing I noticed was this big splotch of no dust.
Eyeballs and a tongue mark on the side of the car.
And then I eventually noticed this little ding on my wheel well that had anybody...
Might not even been there before.
It's possible. I don't remember that one. The thing is, though, there are bigger dents on the car already. And then this morning in the daylight, I went out and there's a couple little like divots in the, like, honestly, like if I wasn't there to point it out to you, you would never, you would just think that's just, you know, wear and tear type stuff.
You can
But
fix those with a plunger.
Did the deer drop on the highway, or did it run away?
I don't know.
Because I have seen deers take a pretty big hit, and they just keep going. Like,
yeah, I know the car behind me did a lot of swerving.
yeah, I bet.
So my guess is the deer probably ran right at the car behind me, but I don't know. Like I honestly don't know for sure because, like, you know, everybody has bright headlights around here, and like I couldn't see anything in my rear view other than the light swerving. But yeah, and then I was really trying to think. Like I've literally lost count of how many deer I've hit.
It's an awesome record.
It's over a half dozen.
This is like a coaster count, huh?
I can name all the roads I've hit deer on.
Right. Marking deer off in different states. I was like, we got to go around here and hit some.
I mean,
Instead of pins in a map, it's antlers or something.
I've got 3 states, guys: Virginia, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. Hit them in all those. So
There you go. Time to branch out. They've got deer in Ohio and all kinds of places.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen them. I'm sure they've seen me. It's unbelievable.
It is.
Anyway, this is a Side Friction Podcast. It's episode 90, not 93, 94.
94. Oh, got the wrong number.
Oh.
See, now you're going to make me like go. It is 94, right? It's got to be. Yeah, it's 94. We had 93
Sure,
last week. That makes us
right
94.
there.
That's how math works, right? 93, then 94?
Sometimes.
94. There we go. I looked at the other one. Yes. I'm wrong all the time. Don't listen to me.
It's for August 30th, 2025. I'm Bob.
I'm Greg.
I'm Ryan, the ride mechanic.
And we've got an assortment of stuff, like, from everywhere.
Yeah, it's a weird rundown.
It's
You
a
can't
very,
say it.
very weird rundown.
Definitely.
And it just occurred to me, we didn't really organize this, did we?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Close enough.
We're just going to wing it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
In no
You can't be
particular...
this organized and wing it. Come on. This is really organized.
Yeah.
So, in no particular order at all, Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets has been announced.
Yes.
And I read this like days ago. I can't remember. All I remember is that there is a list of songs, and that's going to be released later. So, like, really, I guess I don't really care yet.
Not until the music comes in.
There's only one thing I care about, and that's Rainbow Connection. Period. Like, that's I need a replacement. I need another coaster that I can go ride and listen to Rainbow Connection on.
Well, did you send off a request to the Imagineers or something? They'd listen to you.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
So here's what I noticed. This guy looks like they're replacing Aerosmith with the Electric Mayhem Muppets, right?
Yep.
And then I had to Google. I'm like, who sings Rainbow Connection? And it comes back with Kermit the Frog.
Yes.
Not the Electric Mayhem. So I'm like,
Shh. We're choosing not to acknowledge that fact right now.
he could be the guest artist, and the band just does the backup.
Yes. It's a cover band now.
it's like a 1 in 20 ride, and you get Rainbow Connection.
Can I direct your attention to the picture where Kermit the Frog is front and center on that screen?
That's right. He's doing the mixing.
That's true.
So, what were you saying? Just let me fool myself for a while. Actually, let's be honest. I'm probably not going to be going to Disney World, so it probably really doesn't matter. But it literally is going to be the same storyline. It's exactly the same storyline. So I can't imagine that they're doing much except changing the video and the audio and some of the props. They did say the date, didn't they? Maybe not.
And in the production room there, it's still G-Force Records.
It is.
They didn't even get rid of that. It's G-Force Records. My son and we read through this article, and my son just flat out went, so they cheaped out on it, huh?
Yeah.
And I was like, yep, they basically took Muppet characters and hot glue and started putting them around the ride. That's all it was.
And there you have summed up Disney World right now.
There you go. Yeah. Just all the voices that were in it will just be like Kermit the Frog now.
Yep.
In the launch, ready to go. It's like, are you ready to rock?
That pretty well.
That was I really thought Kermit joined us here.
Can you sing? Do you know?
No. Nope, I don't do that. I don't do that. I was quite upset with this whole Florida area. Once the Swedish Chef was removed from Muppet Vision 3D, my world collapsed at that point. So part of me is still hoping to find a Swedish Chef somewhere in on this ride. I'm hoping one day we can ride it and ride the Rainbow Connection with the Swedish Chef in the background, and that would just hit all the levels.
Be the happiest could be.
Absolutely.
So yeah, come on, Disney, you can do it.
Yep. And please give him a can if anyone's listening. Give him a cannon.
Yep.
Way.
I'm also partial to Beaker.
Right.
Here's the thing. I'm just gonna say it, even though it's not true. But I willed the Phantom into existence at Kings Island.
Oh, you did?
So yes, in my mind, no, I didn't. But we're gonna hope that Disney's gonna do the one right thing, like Six Flags did here, and bring back the Phantom Theater. Although I don't like it being called the Nightmare. I don't like nightmares. No.
Yeah. Bob, there are going to be jump scares.
There better not be. I can't, honestly, I that thought crossed my mind, but then I reassured myself by saying, no, this is replacing Boo Blasters. They're not going to.
It's right at the entrance to the kids area.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I don't think they're going to, I don't think this is going to be very intense in that manner.
But I'll bet you make somebody ride it before you get on it to report.
I will be a ball of anxiety the first time I ride it for sure. There's just there's no way around it. Will absolutely be probably covering my eyes and.
We'll give you something for your nerves. We'll give them a sedative.
This does excite me. However, it has not changed my mind on Six Flags Pass for next year. So I will see you in 2027, Phantom, maybe.
If Six Flags
let's be honest.
Exist.
They're saying this is going to be a 2026 attraction, but is it?
It'll be just in time for Christmas.
Right. It's going to be a Winterfest attraction. They're even going to miss
It's already
Halloween.
all there. I mean, it's already all there. All they have to do is theming work on the inside. So it's got a potential to be open next year.
Yeah. Some more glue guns.
Potential.
Right. St. Disney. Calm down with the glue gun. We're not gluing Muppets to stuff in here.
I think the big question is, and I saw some people actually talking about this on Reddit, I hope this is more practical exhibits than just screens.
Oh, yeah.
I hope they're going to go
old-fashioned.
Yeah, more old-fashioned. I'm sure there's going to be a shooter game on it because they all have them now, which that would be really cool for. I would be excited to see them open a new dark ride without a gun on it. Or laser blaster, or whatever they're called. Because I'm kind of tired of those. But at the same time, Holiday World's, is it Gobbler's Getaway? Is that what it's called? I forget. That one is amazing. I hope they go that route more than the Cup Fusion route.
Yeah.
Not that screens are bad, but it just, I don't know. I think the exhibits are better. So yeah, I'm excited about that, but
so I've honestly never been to the park, but I've never seen it. So I actually went on YouTube and watched an old video of it, and then I compared it to the Boo Blasters that was there now. It's I like the Phantom Theater way better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it was just it was way better. It's I understand, and it was you got the little things that you could shoot and do stuff like that. And I was I know, but it seemed really cheesy when it was done, and the Phantom Theater seemed nice. It was just that looks like a nice little thing that you go through and just enjoy. Yeah. So it's I like that.
I also honestly like not basically self-owned IP. It's IP of the park, not an external IP that we're we're going to attract people because we're going to have an attraction based on Stranger Things or whatever insert whatever IP here.
Right.
And I think it kind of gives the park more freedom as well to be more creative if there's any creative people still left at Six Flags, I guess. But, honestly, Jungle X is another one of those. There's no external IP in that, but it's so phenomenal. It's just a phenomenal area. They did a really good job on it. And, I think any kind of creative person, the less you tie their hands, the better the results are going to be. And I think that's what happens with external IP is like you go like, I mean, you have like, well, you look at Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling was actually involved in that. Like she actually helped create that. So it's a little bit different in that regards. But like when you're dealing with like, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but like, let's say you're going to go create an attraction and you're going to get a license from an external IP. They're going to give you this whole list of, oh, look at Garfield's Nightmare at Kennywood. Like that was horrible. And
that was definitely a glue gun operation.
But a lot of it too was they got their hands tied by like what Garfield was allowed to represent and what he was allowed to be around. And there were a lot of hands tied because of that IP. That if they were not restricted by an external organization, like they could have just done whatever they wanted. They could have got a great idea and just ran with it rather than saying, oh, well, is this something that Garfield would do? You know, like with the Phantom, they can evolve that character however they want. Be careful, Six Flags, just saying, be careful. But, you know, they have the freedom to do that. So I would love to see more of this type of thing, you know, coming into and I think that's part of what Magic Kingdom used to be. It was like, you know, even though it's within the same company, I think you also you kind of, I think that's the downfall of like Cars. It's like, okay, we have full reign of whatever. We can manipulate the license because we're Disney, but at the same time, we can't change the characters away from like what they are in the movies. So we're tied by like what the film studio is doing, and you know, we're like all of the former, you know, the opening day attractions really were just like, do whatever you want. Here's the loose concept, but just go for it. And they became great attractions because of that.
Yeah, the original Disneyland, the only place you found IP was in Fantasyland. Everything else was created from scratch and became world famous for it.
Yep. I think it would be really interesting in general just to pull all the licensing from Six Flags. Just in general, say like, oh, you can't use any of the DC characters or Peanuts or anything.
I never went to a Six Flags park because the rides were named after Wonder Woman. You know,
right? But I think if you pulled that rug out from underneath them, it would basically jumpstart or spark this
feeling
idea.
On this is ever since Kings Island got rid of the name Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown, whatever, I don't care anymore. That was the last thing I cared. That was the best name for a log flume ever in existence. And somebody was like, hey, I have an idea. Let's get rid of the best name ever for a log flume and call it something else. Bad move. It really was.
Well, okay.
I know the problem is most people do not even know that was a full-length movie, Peanuts movie.
Yeah.
But I remember it when I was a kid. I remember watching it on VHS. So much that I even bought a copy of the VHS tape on eBay and actually got a VCR and digitized it myself. I like that movie so much.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, that's interesting. Did you have express written permission to do that?
Yeah.
I mean, I did nothing. It's for my own. No, it's for my own personal use.
Okay.
So there. You're allowed to create archive copies.
So, with the exception of that one ride, I'm with Ryan. I would like to see all the IP pulled and you know, come up with something creative. Try to put a little effort into it.
Yeah.
You know,
use all those brains that you've hired
and actually do something with the theming. You know, I go back to the original Marriott's Great America. Yeah, they had Looney Tunes characters, but there wasn't any land that was themed to the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
And each of the lands in the park, of course, were different regions in the U.S., and they were really nicely themed. They weren't massively immersive the way Universal and Disney goes, but you knew you were in the New England area. You knew you were in the New Orleans area, and it was better for it than having the IP stuff. And now that's all gone. You can hardly tell that ever existed now. And in fact, one of the lands they did redo into
if they really want
Metropolis.
IP, like they could just go into the storage warehouse at Cedar Point and pull out Dave.
Dave?
Yeah.
Greg at least knows who I'm talking about. I didn't expect
I'm
Ryan
not
would.
sure
Oh,
I
you
do.
don't? No, you probably don't, actually, now that I think
Yeah.
about it. Dave from Disaster Transport.
Oh, no, I definitely don't.
I would absolutely love to see that character appear at Cedar Point again. I loved Disaster Transport, and I think one of the biggest reasons why I loved it was because of that character. It was an animatronic like it really.
You could replace Tony.
Where is Tony? Tony's gone. Like what? I don't know what happened to him.
He's got too much to do now because he's over multiple parks.
Oh yeah, he doesn't have time to
they've
run
got to-
around and do tweet ups and.
He was there for Siren's Curse, though, the media day, man. He was there for that.
Oh joy. It's kind of funny though. Like Disaster Transport really like the Q area was like far like the technology used in it was really advanced for the time. They just really fell apart with the story. I don't even know like how they it wasn't coherent at all. Still to this day, we don't know how you ended up in Alaska. You just did. You get off the ride and it says "Welcome to Alaska." Like, oh, okay, we're in Alaska. Cool. This is awesome.
Cool.
It was too hot in Cedar Point anyway,
right?
Because there's no shade.
But yeah, like seriously, there are a lot. If you go through the parks, there's a lot of these types of things that you can like just bring back some of that stuff. You spend less money on licensing, and you all of your creative people can just like really have more freedom. This is the way we should do it. I've decided this is the way it should be. You hear that, Six Flags?
Bob has spoken.
I have spoken.
Obviously, there's people listening to you, so you have that power. Because I mean, clearly, our last news stories, everything Bob says slowly happens.
It happens.
It happens.
Right.
That is it. But I
wish I had that
totally
power.
on board.
Don't we all? Man, Six Flags would be the best parks in the world by far if we had that power.
Exactly. We'd be bankrupt, but
well, they're
I don't think
already
they would.
bad, so.
I think they would have an influx of money because what they do is say, okay, let's pull, whenever the contract is up with DC, right? They say, let's pull all the DC theming. Mm-hmm. So they pull it and then they say, well, we're going to have to spend a lot of money to redo all the theming on all the rides. It's like, yes, but that money that you would have spent on re-signing that DC contract now goes back into everything. And
exactly.
You can restart selling merchandise for your rides again. Because right now, Wonder Woman t-shirt that is every Six Flags park everywhere, no one wants to buy that shirt because it's the exact same shirt everywhere. But you know what? If you made ride-specific shirts again like they used to do, people would have that. If you had the shirt for that ride, if you had something like that, then people would go buy that, and it would be unique to that park. I mean, I think the revenue in custom stuff like that would actually be very lucrative, mixed with the fact that they're not spending all that money back on DC stuff again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a win-win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since I've got the Bob's ear, we can put that into the Six Flags program.
So
did you apply for that CEO yet?
Head of marketing or CFO? What do you want to be there, Ryan?
Whichever one gets paid a lot. And trust me, my a lot is not their a lot. So, I've got a lot of places I can go. I mean, janitor in a corporate building probably pays pretty good there, too.
Well, more good news.
Yes.
Legacy of Schwarzkopf is finally, actually, by the time you're listening to this, you should be able to watch it.
It will be. Yeah, it starts, tomorrow when we're recording. It'll be premiering yesterday when you can first listen to this.
Yeah. So
August 29th, 2025. I have seen it. It's really good. It's on the same level as the one that they did with Arrow, and they went to Germany, and the Schwarzkopf family welcomed them with open arms and did lots of interviews, and they had access to old photos and, you know, archives, all kinds of stuff. And they did a really good job. So look for it, find it, listen, watch it. It's worth it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
It's even more impressive when you realize the whole thing has been done by volunteers. It wasn't, you know, there are people that have a certain level of professional experience, but nobody got paid to make this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And
it's just a passion.
Yeah, it's truly a work of,
which is why it ends up really good.
Love.
You know, it's amazing what passion does.
Absolutely.
This is like the whole, you know, Knoebels and Waldemir versus Six Flags. You know, it's that passion.
Yeah.
That's why it's different.
Passion. It's not just money and dollars and cents. It's passion.
Yep. It makes a
you
lot
have
of
passion for
difference.
something, it will bring the money.
Right.
You know, once upon a time, Knott's Berry Farm had a passion for, you know, jam. Now, it's money.
Yes.
This is my favorite topic to complain about because I hate it so much.
Volcano?
Yeah, wait a minute.
Well, there's that one too.
What do you mean?
But,
You don't have a favorite topic to complain about. Let's be real here.
You have a Rolodex of topics.
so like nobody even actually reported on this yet. So I had to post my own screenshot and link to the frequently asked questions on OpenCoaster on Mastodon. So the link is to a post that I made that has a reference link, but Knott's Berry Farm adding lockers, $15 for a movable ride locker. $15.
I wonder what they are at Cedar Point. They were 14 the last time I noticed.
Well,
and that was
apparently,
probably 2 years ago.
From what I was reading, it's now $15 there too. I know Carowinds was it 50? I don't know. It was an amount of money that made me mad.
And they weren't even movable there for you said.
That's right. Oh, that's right. They didn't have the movable lockers. That was the issue there. Yeah, that's another thing. This inconsistency is annoying, but also like what really set me off most of all on this is you look at the bottom and it literally says using a ride locker is not required. Why? Oh, because you're always welcome to leave loose articles with a non-riding member of your party. What world do these people live in?
Yeah. People I'm with are getting on the ride with me. There's no such thing as a non-riding member of my party.
Exactly. Most groups don't go and have all these non-riding members that they're like, it's like...
And if they do, it's grandma and grandpa with their grandchild in the kiddie area who, you know...
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's not here, hold this while you get on the ride. It's like, I'm on the bench and I'll see you after you're done.
Right.
In which case, we go right back to the other problem with the lockers, which is I'm not going to wait in a 2-hour line without my phone. Yep.
Yep.
I want something to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again. Just expect more of this in the off season. Everybody right now that is scrambling to buy their Six Flags season pass because they get the free all park passport because they're saving all this money. You're not saving the money. I guarantee it, because all winter we're going to start finding out more stuff like this.
Yeah, they'll be
like you are going to more than make up for that money that you saved by spending it on increased fees on stuff, stupid stuff that you have to pay for, prices going up, $15 magnets. I will never, like, that will
2 years from now, that will come up again.
That will always make me mad. It's a magnet and it's $15. You've lost your damn minds.
Yeah, but sadly, somebody's buying them.
Yeah, people
true.
like me that say like, "Oh yeah, hey, I'll buy you 2 magnets on this trip," expecting to spend at max $15.
So
For all
lesson
4
for you
magnets.
from that is, I'll buy you 2 magnets if they're under $5 each, and then you'll never have to buy them anything.
Right?
The worst thing about that was when my niece was like, "That's really expensive for a magnet. I like stickers too," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, you could probably buy 2 stickers and still save me money. $9 for a sticker." Like,
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I don't like. I can't even understand it. I
know.
But the thing that really shocked me about it though was shirts were like. Well, I gave my nephew that option because the shirts were literally $5 more than the magnets for like the youth shirts.
Wow.
I mean, it really didn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
So you need a printer and a laminator and a glue gun. Make your own stickers.
This is true.
I'm just not going to Six Flags stuff again for a while. I'm gonna wait for them to go bankrupt and then I'll go ride all their. Like, I really like. Honestly, I don't think Six Flags is going to survive. It's just. We've talked enough about Six Flags, though. We'll
Come on.
We'll move on to the thing that you never really think about because people really aren't normally this dumb. Sorry, but. It sucks. I'll get that. I hate that the boy got shocked, but it's not advisable to walk on a bumper car floor in your bare feet immediately after getting off of a water ride. What do you think's going to happen? You're going to get shocked.
Especially since the kid was denied getting on the ride twice. And somehow managed to sneak through on his 3rd attempt.
Yeah.
It would have been perfectly fine if he just had shoes on.
Yeah.
Like shoes. Perfect insulator. Great. No big deal.
Can't believe he's even, okay to walk around the park at all with nothing on his feet. I mean, but who knows? This was in Israel. It wasn't here. So.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, like you heard, a 10-year-old boy was hospitalized after he got an electric shock on a bumper car ride at an amusement park in, I'm not going to try to say that, but it's in northern Israel. And looking at the picture, we were discussing this pre-show. My first reaction was like, well, you have to complete the circuit. So don't you have to touch the ceiling? And then I looked at the picture and I didn't see any of the upright poles or the mesh or anything like that. So I assumed that this was like the spin zone style that picks it up off of the floor, like both poles off the floor.
Yeah.
Which Ryan kind of backed me up on as well.
Yeah. It's live DC positive and negative, both on the floor.
Oh, they are. I guess that would make sense. DC. For some reason, I was thinking AC, but.
Oh no, DC.
Yeah.
Bumper cars typically run DC voltage right around 20 volts is basically what bumper cars run at.
Okay. Who's the police after? You, Bob, or Ryan? I hear that siren.
I don't know. Something's going on.
What type of deer did you hit? What was that?
You sure it was a deer?
That sounded like a police, like that was weird. I don't usually hear police sirens out front because they usually just fly by in a just in a flash and there's no sound. Like they don't run their sirens because why would you?
Somebody's car alarm, maybe?
No, it definitely was a police car.
Okay.
I have no idea. I don't know what's going on. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to there was somebody riding the bumper cars down the street.
So yeah, this style it's DC positive and negative both on the floor at the same time. They're separated with these little insulators. And the bumper car can pick up both positive and negative. It rectifies the voltage internally, so no matter which way it's facing, which way it's going, it's always getting the proper voltage to run the motor. And high amperage, low voltage, the amperage is insane on the floor. It's like 600 amps through the floor. But it's only like 17 to 22 volts, somewhere in that area. I mean, you could step them up to like 40 volts, but we used to work on those things all the time, and we would always work on them with the floor live, turn the floor on, and then we walk out and go work on the cars. And it's not even like because we had big rubber work boots on or anything like that. It's like, yeah, you could do push-ups on the floor. That's fine because you were insulated because there's not that much voltage. But if you do something like add water to the equation, it's like, okay, well,
that's a little different.
Yeah, there's a good conductor now, and it's like, yeah, that's going to do some other stuff. I mean, bumper cars, when you connect that source, that, like I said, that power source behind there has like 600 amps to go through whatever it's doing. Like, we've broken rectifiers inside of cars, and that's where it's basically a direct short inside the car, and it's really quick. It goes right across two panels, and the car stops. Because it literally just welded itself to the floor right when it did that. It makes a little spark, it just goes, and then that car won't move. And then you have to bring out big bars and basically pry it loose from the floor.
I was going to say, what do you have to do to get that?
Now, before you pry it, do you turn the power off then? Or do you just keep it live?
Yeah. You turn the power off. You can also, like in a pinch, you can also just take another car and run it around at full speed and hit it. And it'll also break it loose typically. Then you got to grind it like women's, men's, doesn't matter. Jewelry underneath cars. Oh, they make awesome little spark trails all over the place. It looks like you had a sparky snail just going all over the floor, but you could tell exactly where it went. It's like, oh, there it goes. Oh, well, yeah. Let's chase it around over here. The biggest, like, oh my gosh moment we had is we were all down at bumper cars working on the things later on at night. I had a mechanic walking around. The floor was live. We were all sitting there working on the cars. The floor was live. And the mechanic was walking along and accidentally tripped and fell, which is, it's like, okay, tripped and fell. What happened is he dropped the wrench. Which one did he drop? It was a 10 millimeter. Of course, it was a 10 millimeter. It wouldn't happen to any other wrench in the box except for the 10 millimeter. Anyways, he dropped the wrench and it slid perfectly right along the floor until it connected across both plates. Someone was close because we weren't just all on the floor. Someone was actually by the panel, not like standing there ready, but they were right next to the panel. When that wrench bridged the gap and actually arced really quickly, the other mechanic reached over there and slapped the e-stop, like, as it was a really quick thing. By the time he had just and then slapped that e-stop, that 10 millimeter wrench was bright orange from bridging the gap of those two panels. And that mechanic, after that, actually cut the end off the wrench because we had to pry that off the floor. We couldn't use a bumper car to loosen that wrench up. It was too low. So he cut the end off that wrench, drilled a hole on it, and that was his keychain wrench. It just hung right on his keychain in there. Couldn't really use it because it was annealed from the heat at that point, nice and soft again. But it was just like, remember that time you were working on the bumper cars and you dropped the wrench? It's like, yeah.
Forever.
That's awesome. I really wish there was video of that.
But now I'm wondering, did you ever deliberately let a car get welded so you could hit it with another car?
No,
I'm not kidding. I'm kidding.
No, we didn't do that deliberately. But I mean, there's been so many failures and stuff, and things weld themselves to the floors all the time. It's not uncommon, and if you're running all the cars with nothing on the outside of the bumpers, because they are supposed to be coated in talcum powder. So if you're running them raw or at the end of the night with just nothing on there, and you wedge a bunch together, it can be basically like a Tetris puzzle, trying to figure out which one of the bumper cars is the keystone that will release them all. Because right now you basically you rubber glued 7 bumper cars together in one spot, and they will not come apart. Like, you can get in each one and try to move it. It won't come apart until you eventually just had a mechanic run around. And he's like, I just got a really good running start and hit this one, and it freed up everything after that. It's like, oh, good job.
It's like shooting billiards.
Pretty much was.
I always I love the spin zone ones, like the circular ones that you. What's that steering called? Like you're driving a Bobcat, the right and left independent controls.
Track steering, is that something like that?
I mean, it's that concept, even though they don't have tracks.
Yeah,
I don't. But like, I love those. But like, I hear people say like, oh, like I hate that they're so small. But the reality is they are so small because they're so fast. And if they made it any bigger, you'd literally be flipping bumper cars over because of how much speed they can get.
And that's not good, because if you flip one of those things over, let me tell you about welding stuff to the floor. You'll be fine. Your cart will be welded to the floor after that, though. Lots of sparks and current.
Wow.
Yeah. That's fun stuff.
So I wanted to include this. I saw Marcus Leshock did Leshock. Is that Leshock? I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
He did a segment on flying turns, and I actually watched this. The link is to the page, and there's multiple different videos on that, and I recommend going through it. It's really interesting. But there are some things that I learned about flying turns that I had not known. One of the most interesting things was I learned that the lift chain is actually a marine chain. And the reason why they use that is because it's designed to be lubricated with water. And as such, they don't have to use any grease, so that prevents grease from getting on the troughs, which I found really interesting. I was not aware of that.
It was very smart, whoever realized that was a thing to do.
The things that they went through on that ride, like there's a lot of genius things that they went through. But yeah, I highly recommend like reading through that and watching the videos, because there's a lot of really interesting things. One of the other things was they explained the camera system they have on it, and they actually demonstrate it, and it like they can actually from the computer say, oh, is there something wrong with that little tiny piece of wood? And they can actually like pull up that camera and then draw a little square around it, and it zooms in, and you can perfectly see like even just a small board to actually say like, okay, is that board still okay? Is that something else? Is that something sitting on the track? Or it's really phenomenal. It's crazy to think like this was modeled off of a ride from the 1920s and has all this technology now. That's just it's really cool. It's a really fascinating thing.
That's really cool.
Recommend it. Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, good.
Oh, that where they could watch the wood on the camera. That reminds me of in California. I used to go to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, and their big wooden roller coaster, the Giant Dipper. Basically, it would go up all the time and stop at the top of the lift hill, like a lift park, like a block check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it would sit there for, anywhere between 10, 30, 40 seconds, and then just start going again. And I remember, because I didn't have experience with that park myself, but I would ask the state inspector, because he was there all the time looking at the stuff, why does it always stop up there like that? And he says because it's a really old ride, and the way they had written all the procedures on stuff, the way the ride's accepted to the state, someone is constantly doing a track walk on that. Wow. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, there's a person constantly walking the track. And I'm like, what's that? to do with the stopping at top of the lift. What happens is they have little cubbies. They like stand off next to the track, or they can go down. And in those areas, they've got basically like a button that they press, and the button says that they're there.
Yeah, that's so let the train go through.
Right. The train goes by. As soon as the train goes by, they step out and start walking the track again. And then as the safety system, the train sends the next train up, and the next train stops at the top of the lift hill until that person gets to the next cubby and hits the button and says, "I'm safe." And then it goes, okay, and then it starts up and sends it over again. I was like, holy crap. That's crazy.
That's really cool. I mean,
someone is
crazy
constantly
and cool,
walking that. Yeah.
Wow.
That's what that reminded me of, though. It's like someone can just sit there and constantly watch the wood surface and make sure it's okay. Because, any little thing can get out of control quick. Yeah. So you want to catch it.
I remember there was once I went there. I know I've mentioned this on a show before, but one time after East Coaster at Hershey, the Knoebels invited like anybody that wanted to go up on a tour, like an off-season tour in the winter at Knoebels, and the snowstorm was ridiculous that happened. I actually ended up doing didn't hit a deer, but I did a 360 on my way to the park. And there were only a few of us that showed up, and every single one of us were like, we're going to be the only idiot that shows up. There were a few of us, but we actually got a lot of like really one-on-one time per se, because we like it was just such a small group, but like there was a lot of things that we discussed about flying turns. And one of the things that I found interesting was the way they cut the wood. I forget exactly how they did it, but basically, like if you, like somebody would just go out there and say like, oh, we'll just put all the wood, just layer it all in like a bowling alley almost, which some of it is, but like there's certain methods to it. The problem with doing just like how you would normally do like layered wood like that, if the wood would split, it would actually pill up and actually stab into the car, like. So they had to actually change the way that they laid the wood down so that you wouldn't have that problem. Like if wood cracked, it didn't actually do that. And the other interesting thing that I learned was I can't remember the exact wood, but in the 1920s they used a specific type of wood. And whenever Knoebel started building it, they were like, oh, well, we'll just use the same type of wood. And it didn't work. And they couldn't get it to work. And the reason why was because in the 1920s, all of that wood was wild. It was just, harvested from the forest. Present day, the wood is farmed, which means the trees are closer together, so the density of the wood changed, and it wouldn't work. So they had to find a completely different type of wood, which I think they said in the videos, yellow pine. But yeah, they had to actually identify a completely different type of wood that would work in the situation, because the wood that worked in the 1920s no longer works today.
That's interesting.
Yeah. The flying turns, seriously, there's like every time that I see anything on it, I always want to like to stop and watch, because there's so many fascinating things in that. You think of the things they've learned in the 7 years of really failure. Like in 7 years, they just kept failing until they figured out how to not fail. and it works. Yeah. But like that persistence, they've learned so much on the way that there's just so many little interesting facts about that ride. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah. I know the GCI was all yellow pine. And then from there, the only other thing I really knew from there was the water rides. They use a special wood called Bongozi wood. It's ultra dense wood that grows underwater.
Hydroponic.
Yeah. It's awesome stuff. It sucks to work with, but it's cool.
Probably not cheap either.
It's heavy. Takes 2 people to lift a board.
Wow.
Yeah, they'll twist up like a pretzel, so you get boards in there like all twisted into a U and warped all over the place. You have to go throw them in water and let them sit there for like a week, and they'll straighten right back out. It's like, okay, but you could, it's one of those things you could take one of those boards and bridge like a 10-foot span and drive a truck over the top of it with no reinforcement, and it's just like that wood will take it.
Could I drive a truck over it?
Your truck wouldn't work.
Not a problem.
That's exactly what I was looking for. I was thinking my luck would cause me to fail, but you're right. I'd never even get to the board.
Nope. You get there and just be like, it's like, oh, guess that's not working. Fun stuff you learned, huh?
Yeah. So I'm sure this is going to be right up Six Flags alley. How do you say that? Apatronics? I guess
Sounds
it's
good
like
to me.
appetite. Apatronics.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I'm going to say. Apparently, they have already have one of these in an airport. Wait, what airport? I know I read it. What? Oh, Columbus International Airport. So it's just like a kiosk that you walk up to, and a robot arm makes your food. You order it, and this robot arm makes your food. I'm not sure how I feel about this, actually. I mean,
Because
so if we're talking like the previous Cedar Fair level food, don't change that. If we're talking about like legacy Six Flags food, like do anything, please.
Yeah.
Just do something.
Try something.
I don't care if it's a robot.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a dog. Just do something. It's interesting, but like what I see with this is I could see like parks, like a chain parks. I don't see Knoebels doing this because they have a passion for food too. But like, the one, there's so many corporations that are about replacing people. It's like, we don't want to pay employees. We don't want to pay employees. I could see them doing this and just having all of these kiosks with these robot arms, and they're going to break down, and you're just going to be standing there, and it's going to actually create longer lines because you're only going to have one person maintaining all of these robot arms just running around like, oh, this one's broke. Oh, this one's broke. This one's broke. That's what I see it turning
And
into.
somebody's got to restock the food in it.
Yeah.
Somebody's running around for that.
Yeah.
Because they're not making the food in those things. They're just scooping it up, whatever it is. They're just using pre-delivered whatever's there.
Yeah, that's the thing that's interesting. They do talk about the pizza where it actually does like roll the dough and everything and like all that stuff, but like somebody has to mix the dough, I would assume.
Right.
But even so,
I've seen one of those machines that does milkshakes. But that's different. You're not cooking anything, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
It's combining the ingredients and whipping it up, and it's a robotic arm is doing it. And I'm trying to remember where I saw that. It was an airport, and it was recently. Maybe it was at Haneda on the Japan trip. Anyway, I've seen one of those kiosks like that. And the weird thing was it was right next to a food stand with a person. And I watched it for a minute, and the line was so long for people wanting to do the one with the robot because it's cool.
Right.
That I was watching people toward the end of the line give up and go to the one that had a person on it. Because it was so popular, but probably for all the wrong reasons.
yeah. It's
If it becomes commonplace, maybe it wouldn't.
Oh, that novelty
be that
would
way.
wear off really quick. Like I remember, like the first self checkouts. Like, oh, this is really cool. That got old really quick.
Yeah, and there is another place in Boston called Spice. I'll have to look up a link to it. Last time I was there, we went in there, and it serves food that's done in bowls. So I don't know if there's somebody that you can't see that's doing the cooking behind the scenes and dumping it down a chute, or if it really is, it's something. The system is supposedly. I found something. The system was designed by somebody at MIT, which makes sense, being Boston, and took off. It was very popular, and the food was good, and it was fast. And it ended up being bought out by a bigger company because it was successful. But still, you know, you can't make up for the human touch if it's got, like at other restaurants, even at other fast food places, like, I don't know, Qdoba or one of these other places. You've got people assembling the food and all of that stuff. They're just, even that little bit at a fast food place has a better atmosphere than a machine tossing it at you.
There is one excuse. McDonald's absolutely needs this for salting their French fries.
Okay.
I was going to say McDonald's needs it for making their milkshakes because their other machines don't work.
There you go.
Yes, there's that. But no, like the McDonald's French fries are the most inconsistent food in existence. You never know if you're going to get good French fries or not.
That is true. Because if I get good French fries at a McDonald's, they won't make it out of the drive-thru. I will eat them.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And
But a lot of times it's not. They're
and
just
you'll have to go back
so
around
they
and
make
get
it
another
home.
one for whoever you're getting them for.
Exactly.
But they really, and I'm convinced that's what it is, because they're all salted manually, like with the salt shaker, and I really think that like it's so inconsistent that you're either
Depends on whether
undersalted
it's
or
the
oversalted.
beginning of the shift or the end of the shift.
That probably matters too.
And you also get all these employees that always like to, like, oh, I like them a little bit more, so they add a little bit more. Oh, they don't need that much, and they add a little bit less. There's still the human factor, as you were saying, to that.
Exactly. That's the only thing I'll allow that.
Yeah. I picture these machines working like, 'cause I've seen they do the robot arms in Vegas making drinks. You got to have it make a drink for you, and it comes up and does all the stuff. But I picture this, I think of this like at a Chipotle restaurant where all the stuff is in the tins already, and it's just picking stuff out of the tin. I want this meat, and it picks up that meat. But in my mind, it's like, well, you still need someone to cook that meat, because unless it's really sophisticated, like using thermal imaging to watch meat cook and stuff like that, it's like I don't think it could do that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not really clear, like that is a really good question. And you also so you do have to have somebody taking supplies to it. No matter what level, there's definitely supplies that are going to have to be delivered to the machine and put in the proper places. I don't know. We'll see how it happens. But this company is they're basically eyeing the theme park market. So. Except for the fact that Six Flags can't afford it, it's right up Six Flags alley.
You know who'd be a good fit for that one right off the bat? The Dippin' Dots company. They would be good for that one.
Yeah, they set them up right next to each other.
Yep, it's right there. Everything's in the container. You can automate it all. It's scoopable. You don't have to scoop. It could just be like a claw that picks it up basically and puts it in a little cup.
But that would eliminate our ability to get all the inside scoop on what's going on at the park, because if there's no Dippin' Dots guy who knows everything that's going on, and you replace it with we're so much for getting any real news.
On the other hand, ChatGPT might actually have a source of factual information.
Oh.
The robots would leak it to ChatGPT.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
And then we'd know. ChatGPT.
Then we know.
What happens if ChatGPT doesn't want to talk to you anymore?
Well, then.
Good question.
Yeah.
Well, then we're right back to the Tony Clark situation. So what's the difference? Speaking of the Dippin' Dots guy, X2, something maybe happening, maybe. The OC Register thinks so because Screamscape said so, which makes me not think so. Maybe think so. I don't know. So apparently what we know is 3 X2 coaster trains, just the chassis, were spotted on flatbed trucks headed towards Six Flags Magic Mountain. Wait.
What?
This article really doesn't quote Screamscape properly. Oh. Well, okay, so the article is saying that, it's new trains, but it's clearly not new trains.
Clearly not. Those are way used.
Because they're being transported from the park to SNS.
To SNS.
Well, we don't even know that. It was just because it was like spotted going in that direction, going towards Utah. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, see, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, well, maybe X2's not closing. Now I'm not. I don't know.
They could just be going for repair, honestly.
Yeah, that's really now I'm kind of just thinking that that's what's going on.
Here's one thing this is the one thing I've been told about SNS stuff is I've good friends with some mechanics. They work on SNS, and they're also really good welders, fabricators. They do all their own repair work.
Do they use bumper cars?
What was that?
Do they use bumper cars for welding? Or?
No, they don't. No, just certs aren't good enough for that. Anyways, but they said out of all the stuff in the park that they work on, the one thing that they can't repair is SNS stuff. They have a ride there. I'm not going to say which one it is. Let them remain anonymous. But they have an SNS ride. And every once in a while, they found like a crack or something on it, and they needed to make a repair on it. This is where every other ride manufacturer would say, here's what you do, grind it out, full pin back, 7018, D1.1 standard, blah, blah, blah. NDT it afterwards, you're good. SNS is like, ship it back to us. Wow. We'll repair it here. And they're like, no, we'll just do this here. Just give us a repair procedure. And from what I'm told by them, SNS is like, nope. Ship it back. So
whose expense then?
It's always at the company's expense.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was told there's a lot of stuff on those SNS rides that they cannot weld on. There's some stuff they can, and there's other things where they're like, nope, ship it back. Stuff on the train in particular, I was told, goes back to SNS.
Huh. Well,
so
I guess
interesting.
The hope is that it is going back to be repaired and refurbed, and X2 is going to live on, and that this isn't like, oh, hey, SNS, we're closing X2. Do you want the old parts?
Oof.
Because now that I dig into like what Screamscape is actually saying, Greg, now it's your turn for background noise.
I don't have a dog.
No,
now I know it's Ryan. I'm saying
I see.
we both had our background noise.
Wait, let me get the window open and see if a train will come by.
This is the background show. Like,
the dog's just upset that X2 might be closing. That's right. Didn't like that idea. Yeah, I forget what I was saying before that, but
about selling parts.
Yeah, well, I was saying I hope that like they're not like taking the parts. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Screamscape's always interesting when they say stuff like they used to be really reliable, and now it's just like. Do you know how many times they condemned Darien Lake's Superman? Like, that thing was being torn down, like, 10 years ago. Meanwhile, Six Flags America closes first. So, I mean, there is a picture of it, so they're doing something. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's this is where you want to say, like, it would be a tragedy and a dumb move for Six Flags to close X2. And then you look at Kingda Ka, Top Thrill Dragster, Volcano, and there you go. It's not so dumb anymore, I guess. Hopefully it'll be refurbed, though.
Well, the one thing they've got going for X2 is that there's no other park that can get that train. So it's not like, America where they're like, oh, look, we bought a new train. By the way, we're going to close the park and we're going to send a train somewhere else.
Right. Yeah.
It's like no one else can get that train because there's not another ride in existence. So the fact that they are putting some time and effort into it is probably a good thing.
Yeah, that's where I want to lean to. But I mean, it really could be like, oh, hey, X2, or hey, SNS, do you want to buy our old X2 parts for Edgenica?
Yeah, I mean, it could be.
But would they? Well, they'd be shipping it anyway to Japan, because if they had to have SNS make something brand new, it would still have to be shipped from Utah. Yeah.
That's to think about that though. Like Fuji Q would actually have to ship that international to Utah to Utah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unless they
just made some spares,
do it themselves on their own.
Well, that could be true too. There's plenty of places that don't care, and they're just like, oh, we're gonna do it because we know how to do it. Yeah, and they don't necessarily need the manufacturer's blessing.
True.
And they're not under U.S. regulations.
Well, Cedar Point doesn't use manufacture anything, it seems, and they're under U.S. regulations. So, which I heard I-305 was. Wait, did we mention that about the wheels last week? Maybe.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah, that's another example of just like, oh, well, we could get this really good compound on wheels that, nah, let's buy the cheap stuff. So Knoebels found another downside to being in the nice wooded, beautiful area that they are in.
Yeah.
This is just kind of a funny story. They had to close on Monday because a tree fell down. A little more than that. And it took out all the power. So, yeah. They were closed for. I think it was. I think I read in another story. It was like around 1:30. They had to close or something like that. And they opened the next day, but just kind of a funny story.
So, what ride would you want to be on at Knoebels when the power goes? I mean, the coasters, it wouldn't matter, but unless you're on the lift hill. But even then, you can just walk down. I
don't know. I kind of would like to be on Impulse's lift hill.
Yeah, you could take a nap because you're laying down, basically.
Well, no, I just really want to see their I guess you can't call it anti-rollback. The system they have on it now, since they got the new trains, is whenever it goes up, it pushes down the fins, the eddy current fins, as it goes up. Mm-hmm. If the power goes out, the car will actually slowly descend because the eddy fins will slow it. So it literally will slowly descend back onto the flat level. And I don't know. I think it'd be really cool to see that.
Yeah.
Or experience it. The ride I would not want to be on is the ski lift thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No one wants to be on that one. It's like, hold on while we get your ladder.
When you're going up and down, you see the ladders laying on the ground all the way up and down. Yeah. You're like, oh, no.
I can't remember if I was talking to Rick or Brian. I was talking to one of them at some event. And they were saying, like, they actually, like, I mean, they have to do the drills, evac drills. So, like, they will actually have volunteers come and say, like, hey, yeah, they actually volunteer to be evac'd. And he said that, like, there's so many people that just, like, volunteer to be evac'd and freak out and don't want to be evac'd all of a sudden.
wait, I have to do what? That isn't what I signed up for.
I'll be completely honest with you. Like, in my mind, like, I try to pick. I don't even know. I can't even picture how the evac works on that ride. I can't.
Yeah.
Because those ladders don't reach.
No, of course not.
I guess those ladders are just like maintenance type stuff. I don't know. I think I do remember, like, those ladders are basically to put up to reach like the ladders on the uprights or something. I don't remember exactly. But
yeah, typically those are because your ladders that come down those center, like the cable support trees. Those ladders don't come all the way down to the ground.
Right.
That's to prevent people from getting up there.
Right, exactly.
So they leave that other ladder down there to get up to the other ladder.
Yeah.
So, I mean, typically on the sky rides like that, you have some sort of a electric, diesel, some sort of backup engine to run the cable around at a slower speed, but still run the cable around. So in a power failure, you could it takes a long time to do, but you can get them off of there.
Wait a minute. It runs at a slower speed?
It runs at a slower speed.
We're talking Dutch Wonderland.
You know what I was thinking of. It's already the world's slowest sky ride by
It doesn't even move.
Maybe they're using the backup motor for
they're probably just using the backup full time. We're not paying for power for that. Let's dump diesel into it.
Could be.
I can't recall. They probably do have that, but like for drills though, you still have to do the drills, and like that's the scenario. And they even tried to start explaining it, and my brain still just couldn't fathom what they were talking about. So like, because they like climb up and like somehow the way I got it was they somehow like get you over to the poles that you climb down, but I don't remember the whole process of how they actually do that. I can imagine it being frightening though.
That was so simple. You just get them up, say just stand on your seat and reach up and grab the cable and then go hand over hand to the mirrors.
Climb the whole way down.
Remember in PE class that this is what you were training for. Like, this is it.
This is exactly it.
It's like my worst nightmare.
Oh my god! I'd be like, no, can you toss me up a Snickers or something? I'll just sit here for a while.
Like, you got to go hand over hand on that cable. I'd just be looking down like. Probably just be a broken leg if I jumped, like I'm just gonna jump for it.
It's not concrete,
right?
Unless you're over the road, then you got a problem.
Then it's a problem. Yeah, it's true.
So Disneyland doing something kind of unexpected.
Yeah,
they're getting rid of the early access. So if you stay in a resort or whatever, you usually get into the park early. You can't do that anymore. Well, starting in 2026.
Yeah.
Instead, they'll give you a lightning lane. Which I don't. How does the lightning lane work at Disney anymore? If you're getting a lightning lane, does that mean is that the same as fast lane at Cedar Point?
Yeah, it's the same thing. So you get it, and you come back in. The way they do it, you pretty much. It depends on what level you buy for it.
Yeah, this is why I don't like Disney. This stuff should not be this complicated.
Well, this is a lightning lane multi-pass. So what does that mean? Is
multi-pass.
It top tier?
It's a multi-pass.
Yeah,
do multiple things with it.
Yes,
because I'm pretty sure it is one of those things because my wife and I will get the lightning lane, we'll get that pass when we go to the park, but it's pretty much, I think the ones we get is just good for one ride. You just like, okay, you go use that at that one ride, and then like once you're past that, it's like it's used up. You can't reuse it again on that ride. But it's like if you go for, Space Mountain, it's 3:00, it's an hour wait. It says come back at 4:00. It's like, okay. And I think just like the fast lane system, you can pay the extra money for ones that it gets you on like right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I understand what this article is doing, because it's like, yeah, there's plenty of times where it's like, oh, we're staying at a resort hotel. It's like, well, you get into the park an hour early. And, as the guest, I'm sitting there like, well, crap, I don't want to wake up an extra hour early and not be able to have breakfast and go into the park.
And how much is open for that in that early hour?
It's typically like Disneyland. It's typically like part of Fantasyland and most of Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Like that's about it. You don't get anything in Frontierland or the New Orleans area, Critter Country, Star Wars, like all that stuff. So it's a small portion of the park that's available.
For me, I would probably do this. Like I'm rarely at a park at opening. I'm sometimes not awake at park opening. If we're going to be honest, so I think I'd rather go this route. But we'll see how it pans out.
People staying at the hotel might decide this is a better arrangement if it's one of their useful levels of the lighting lane.
Is that how they worked at all resorts? Like you just got early entry? They didn't give you like skip the line
passes? Not necessarily. It typically was early entry, but it was also on certain days to certain parks. Like the Disneyland Resort, they would alternate days between sometimes you would get into Disneyland early one time, and sometimes you would get into California Adventure early.
Yeah.
I didn't catch this the
They'd
first
have to
time.
alternate.
If you're going to take advantage of this, you do have to pre-book the chosen attraction in advance using the app to make use of it. Now, I don't know how far in advance are they talking about. If it's an hour ahead of time or...
Well, it probably falls into that whole like, oh, you got to wake up at 6 a.m. or whatever it was.
I think it's probably going to be just like any reservation system. It's like you could probably do it right before, as long as reservations are available.
Right. But that's the problem with Disney is they go immediately. That's why you're booking in what is it, 3 months in advance or something like that. I like that. Honestly, that is the biggest thing that turns me off of Disney is I just don't, when I go to a park, I don't want to plan everything out like that. That's just not how I just want to go in the park and I feel like riding this. Let me go ride this. I don't want to have it's one thing to have a loose plan of attack, but just
you want some spontaneity to the day.
And then you get for me, the reason why I don't like that is because the anxiety of this, this line took longer, or this ride, we got delayed on this ride, or dinner took longer, and then everything shifted. Your entire plan is gone, and now you're stressed out about how you get back on your agenda. It's just so annoying, and it just seems like every aspect of Disney is no, you didn't plan properly. You're going to have a horrible day. That's my impression anyway. I know the people that go to Disney all the time, they know this, but for somebody that doesn't go to Disney all the time, it's so overwhelming.
It really is. And coming from someone who goes to Disney all the time, and my wife takes care of it because she plans, she does all that stuff, and that is her thing. But it's I do feel sorry for people that saved up all the money and they put all the time and effort, and they come in, and not even that they didn't plan, that they started planning a month in advance and they didn't know a month was already everything's gone. Yeah, that's the horrible part.
Yeah. Well, the whole planning thing. I mean, we just did a show that literally we started the show by oh wait, we didn't organize this. This is my style. This is how I operate. My entire life runs like this. You can't expect me to tell. Oh, at 6 p.m. I'm going to ride this ride. No. There's no way. There's just no way. I'll remember that I have to ride that at 6 p.m. at like 8 p.m. Just no. Waldemar is closing their Endless River because they're getting a new Endless River, that seems like a hard thing to do. Like, isn't it like almost like an in-ground pole? Like, how do you just like fill it with concrete,
rip it all up?
Yeah, but would you say their Endless River came to an end?
It apparently did. I can't imagine. Are they really like changing the trough, do you think? Or is this just like new stuff?
I've never spent any time in a water park to know.
I mean,
I would think they would rip that all out of the ground. Take it completely out and then put something new in its place. I could see that. The reason, when you take care of a body of water or something like that, there's only so much effort you could put into the walls and everything else before it's like...
Yeah, you know what, though? This just dawned on me. I remember from a couple years ago, Steve Gorman talking about this. There's... Waldemar's water park is locked. Like, to get there, they're already... Like, you have to walk over that funky bridge which goes over the Endless River, I think. And it's like this complicated way to get in there. So I bet you this is all with the intent of actually moving that river to somewhere more convenient. Now that I was only in their water park one time, so I can't really fully picture it, but I remember that bridge. It's like a very awkward, like when you get into their water park, it's a very awkward bridge that you have to go over. You have to like walk up and then walk down. And I remember them saying they want to get rid of that. So that's probably what's going on. But they also are adding a 5-person family raft slide with spiraling turns, light-filled tunnels, and a shallow splashdown. And also a 5-person tornado wave raft slide featuring a tight helix and a massive drop into a near-vertical wave wall. I'm sure if you like water parks,
significant investment.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to. I love to see Waldemar like building and just expanding. I mean, water parks aren't my thing, but I like to see the investment.
I'm interested in what they do with the new land that they bought next door to how they're going to expand with that. They haven't said anything yet.
Yeah, I know. Steve Gorman has teased that they have a pretty big plan. Mm-hmm. He kind of. Was this last year, Coaster Bash, or the year before? He kind of said, like, oh, yeah, we have a couple little things coming up, but, like, we have a back burner thing that's down the road. That's going to take a while. So I'm hoping for something good. I'm hoping for a new coaster. Of course we are.
Of course we are. It's like, what? Kind of goes without saying.
Right?
But yeah, they could use something. I mean, Ravine Flyer 2 is amazing and all that stuff, but something to complement that's a whole different style would be good for them.
What if they bought an Intamin? I would love the day that an independent park gets an Intamin. Like, or an Intamin coaster, like real big Intamin coaster.
Or a Vekoma. Or
like a multi-launch coaster.
Yeah.
Or a Vekoma tilt coaster. Ooh, we get one that doesn't break down as much as Siren's Curse.
I know. Can we beat the record? Can we only break down 4 times?
I have to say, I'm sorry on that point of view. I know it wasn't a thing, but I mean, from a ride mechanics point of view, the fact that it broke down 5 times, I think it was so far, it's just like.
That's nothing.
That is awesome. That is like almost perfect uptime.
It really is. Like that to people that like know, that's a testament to Vekoma.
Right. Each time brand new ride broke down 5 times. It's like per hour. It's like, no.
Right,
it's like,
yeah.
well, per day? It's like, no, it's so far. It's like, that's like a perfect running ride. Like, leave it alone.
And the salt on the wound is that Top Thrill 2 is over there, like, trying to exist.
Yeah. I may stop there tomorrow night on the way to Wisconsin because I'm only going to drive part way. And if we leave work early, which we oftentimes do on a holiday weekend, I might stop in there. And I'll bet you anything, I'm more likely to get on Siren's Curse than Top Thrill 2 if I do.
Yeah.
At the same time, you may not get on Millennium Force, Maverick, Still Vengeance, Magnum.
I never expect to get a Maverick past the first hour of their operation just because of the line.
Millennium Force seems to be having a lot of troubles too.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of reports that it was down. I know it's old, but like it's weird. It's like, oh hey, we just did all this refurb on Millennium Force.
And now it's running worse than before.
It's like it's been one of the most reliable rides, it seems. And like, oh, we did all this refurb and now it doesn't run. Like, it's just, I get the old thing, but like, it doesn't line up with the, hey, we did all this refurb. Like, maybe you shouldn't have done the refurbishment, I guess. Like,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Which
they fixed the lift hill. It's like, good. That's it. Leave everything else alone.
And they couldn't. See, the thing that scares me is like, and it's the same thing with like Pantherian, even though they just rethemed it and everything. But like, you know, it's almost like there's a part of me that's like, oh, is this painting a picture? It's like, oh, well, you know, in 2026 when they announced that Millennium Force is closing, they have 2025 to point at and say, well, this is why. It's not like there's a big part of me that would not put it past them doing this to like have an excuse, like to deaden the blow. Like if you just out of nowhere say we're closing Millennium Force, like if you at the end of last year we're closing Millennium Force, it would be a disaster. But if you have an entire year where it's been a disaster, it seems like there's like, especially all of the Cedar Fair fanboys, Cedar Fair and Cedar Point fanboys that are like, oh, well, yeah, you know, we got to excuse everything that Cedar Point does. So, yeah, clearly it wasn't running, so you might as well get rid of it. It just, the fact that Intamins always behave this way at Cedar Fair parks and don't seem to behave the same way at other parks.
Wonder why that is.
I know. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah. 4 hours away at Kings Island, it's not that way.
Well, they don't have any Intamins.
No, but Intamins aside, I mean, any of their rides, they don't.
Well, that is true. Like it used to be, Cedar Point used to be Intamins that this was all. Now it's just the whole park.
Right. If Ryan had gone to Kings Island instead of Cedar Fair, he'd have gotten on every single ride. I mean, instead of Cedar Point, he'd been on every single ride instead of barely getting on any.
I mean, I don't know if I could argue that, but I probably can't argue that.
And if you got a later in the day ride on Mystic Timbers.
Oh, God. I love Mystic Timbers so much.
You've talked about how West Coast Woodies are different than East Coast Woodies. Oh, there's a prime case. That's such a good ride.
Yeah, absolutely. So last week we talked about Kennywood having an over 21 night, which would be a really good idea so you don't have to deal with all the teenage bullshit.
Boy, were we wrong.
Never underestimate the ability of adults to act like teenagers.
Or worse.
Or worse, yes.
I was about to say, teenagers grow up and become adults.
Not really, apparently.
So multiple women are now banned from Kennywood Park because a fight broke out at the adults-only night.
And there's a video to this.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And when they say fight,
That was knockdown, drag out, pulling hair and punching and everything.
Wigs were flying. The wig came off. Everything.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Security guard had to tackle one of them right into the bushes.
And it was not a genteel tackle either.
Oh, no.
That was like that was
No.
like a football tackle, like flying in sideways from the side of the camera,
But
knocking the person down.
they got one of them down, and the other one just went right around the security guard to try and keep beating on her. Oh, I just couldn't believe it when I saw it.
Do you think they're rethinking their adults only night? Like,
We'll have to see. They're having another one tomorrow night. Well, yesterday for listeners or whatever. We'll see how that one goes. I'm going to be looking it up, watching the news, seeing if there's anything else, or if they got them all on the first shot. But yeah, they've been banned indefinitely.
as they should.
I mean, what was so important? That's the thing that they don't say. Now, what was so important that you had to start fighting? Like, what was that? Like 4 people were fighting, right? Something like that.
Yeah, they say multiple women. Whether that means, I mean, is video only showing 2? Or there?
No,
I got to look at it again. Okay.
I think it was focused on 2, but it seemed like there were more.
Yeah. That's
But I
just
don't
insane.
know. Like, it's also like who's trying to break up the fight. Because you know how like that often happens. Like people trying to break up the fight look like they're fighting.
Mm-hmm. Right. Or they often get into the fight because they're trying to break it up and then start swinging at them too.
Yeah.
The one thing that annoyed me, and I think annoyed all of us really, they interview some people after the fact, and they're going on about how Kennywood needs to improve security. It's like, how do you stop that shit? Oops.
You can't.
You can't. You can't predict it.
It's just not. Yeah.
There's no preventing the start of it. You can jump in there, and the security people did, and in a big way to try and put an end to it. But you can't blame the security for the start of it,
Right.
and yet they were.
Well, the fact that the security was there, like I remember the incident at Kings Island. It was like, it's all good. Like security was nowhere to be found. The fight kept growing. This was a few years ago, but like,
Yeah.
you know, fight kept growing, and security is like not there. They were proactive here.
Yeah.
We've had riots erupt at the park. And, you know, it just happens to be, you know, a group of people get together with another group of people, and they have the right cocktail going, and it escalates, and then stuff starts turning south, and then next thing you know, everything's there. All the park security people are there. The police are there. They're asking mechanics for help. Literally pick up crowbars and stuff. Come help. Literally. It's like grab heavy tools and come help.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I just picture this, just like
mechanics
walking in a V shape down the midway.
With Ryan at the lead.
No. I'm not finding myself there. No.
Oh, come on.
Nope. I had other people that worked there that were like gladly. Like I remember when that happened. The one guy I was working with, he loved that sort of stuff. He actually went to try to be on, he was like fire department or police or something, but like he did not hesitate. He reached right behind a big box, pulled out this giant crowbar, and he's like, come on, and he ran out the door.
Point me in the right direction.
And I'm just like, all I'm thinking of is like, I don't want to be named in a lawsuit over this, you know?
I just want to repair this train and go home.
Oh yeah, that's nobody wants that. But I have an idea, you know, if they want to like, okay, if they really want to try to get on top of this situation, you're going to have to, when you file into the park, it's going to have to be one line on the left, one line on the right, and then each person that comes in, they come in one at a time, and they're going to have to be announced. On our left, we have this person weighing in at 200 pounds, and on our right. You're going to need a lot of announcers because you're going to wear some voices out pretty quick.
God.
This is why parks are cutting their entertainment budgets. They just don't need it anymore. Just like, hey, come see the fight in the Midway.
Yeah.
Tonight at 8 p.m.
Who's participating? You are.
You've been listening to Side Friction Podcast. You can follow us on Mastodon at sidefriction at worldkey.io.
You can also follow us on Instagram at Side Friction Podcast.
Or visit our website at sidefriction.com.
Look for new episodes every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern, and we'll see you then.